Friends, hi. It's been not a long time. Well, it's nice and 41 degrees today. For the past 3 or 4 weeks, it's been regularly under 20 degrees, -6, -10. It's been very cold lately for no good reason, honestly. No practical reason why it's been so cold. But what I did, I love that I have remote start. Comes in handy. It runs a 10-minute cycle, and what I do is before I head out, especially if it's something like -6, I'll turn on the car for 10 minutes as I'm getting ready to head out, and then once I get in the car, it doesn't warm the heated seats even if you have that toggled on, but at least the engine's warm enough that the car's somewhat ready to go, right? So the 4Runner I had the remote start feature. I think a lot of nice Toyotas and a lot of Chevys and Jeeps and a lot of modern cars definitely have the remote start. I don't know how it does with manual transmission cars. I don't know if they have remote start typically, but this one at least does. I hope the new 4Runners and Tacomas have that too, because it definitely comes in handy. Although I wish it would turn on the climate too, but I think it just warms up the engine. But yeah, I haven't sold my GX460 yet. I used to have a track record of selling a car every 1.5 years. In 2024, I got a Porsche Macan. I sold that after 1.5 years. I got a Toyota 4Runner. I sold that after 1.5 years. This car I've had more than 1.5 years. Actually, I think 1.5 years would be sometime right now, actually, honestly, or February, to be honest, because I bought it in August 2023. So right around March, it'll be, I think exactly 1.5 years or whatever. So according to my previous track record, this is about the time when I sell a car and buy something new, buy a new project or something like that. If I did get a new car and if I did have all the money in the world, I would definitely sell this and get a Porsche 911, Carrera 4, GTS with an aero kit, front lift, axle, whatever. But I don't have all the money in the world, and fortunately I'm blessed with a great all-around car that I can take far and wide across the ends of the earth. And I think that's part of the reason why I've not sold this car, because this is my getaway from Ohio car, and I can take this car across the country when I can, and it allows me to do that in peace of mind. Yes, I can take a Porsche 911 across the country, but if I see a nice dirt trail, man, I would have to spend 400 grand to get a Porsche 911 Dakar, right? I think they MSRP above 300 grand, and with how collectible they are, I'm sure people are selling them for over 400 or whatever. Maybe, I don't know. But the 911 Dakar is one that can go off-road, technically. So there are options if you're rich enough, but fortunately, I've got a good car that does it all around. I still get 12 miles per gallon in the city, so nothing has changed there. What's also great about this car is that, to be honest, I'm having a little bit more fun modifying this car than I did the Toyota 4Runner, because this car did not come pre-built like a Toyota 4Runner. Like if you get a TRD off-road, you got Bilstein shocks. If you get a TRD Pro, you got Fox. So it's already got some nice kit from the factory. Now, in this case, yes, the stock GX460 could probably do very well off-road, and it has, and it will, and it continue to do so, but it gives me a fresh canvas to add my own parts as I wish, versus something that's pre-built from the factory. It's like getting a gaming PC, Alienware, that it comes with 32 gigabytes of RAM or an NVIDIA 4090 or whatever the hell it may be, but you want 64 gigabytes of RAM and the latest motherboard and all these things, so you can do it yourself. That's what I can do with this car. It gives me all the comfort and reliability of a 4Runner and Lexus combined, but with a fresh canvas for me to start from scratch and put my own Fox kit on there, my own lift, my own tires, my own rock sliders. So yeah, I mean, this car gives me a fresh canvas to modify versus the 4Runner, and there's still plenty more to do. Where there's money and ways to spend more money, there are definitely more ways to modify. Said, one thing I want to look forward to this year is I need to get some, I don't need to, I want to get some Baja Squadron lights. I think I'll get the sports instead of the pros. I looked at the price difference, it's about $100 difference. Sport and pros. And the lumens are obviously different and the wattage is a bit different as well. But I think for what I want to use, I think the sports will do just fine. It'll do just fine for my applications. That's something I'm looking forward to. Getting the 2 pairs of lights. It's going to cost me about $500 something. And then I have to get the Switch Pro to connect that and my air compressor, wire everything, pay somebody to do that. The Switch Pro is about another $600. So then I got to pay somebody to install it. It will probably cost me $500 or less. I don't know. We'll see. But there are some investments coming along the way, just modifications and things that I don't necessarily need, but I'd like to add. And I want to go back out to Arizona and go to Westcott Designs and get the Victory rear bumper installed on my car. So the metal bumper, it's definitely going to give me some better departure angles and ground clearance. I don't know if I want the full-on tailgate, tire holder and the backup camera relocator and that kind of thing. I saw Westcott Designs had GX460 build that they had the Victory bumper, but they still had the spare tire mounted underneath. So that may be an option I go for, because to get all of that kit is about $3,000, and then to install it was probably going to be $2,000 or something, right? So it's not going to be cheap either way. But I just don't know if I want to deal with all of the wire relocation and all of that stuff. I think I'd like to keep it in some regards as stock as possible. A roof rack, I don't really have many things to carry, like traction boards and things like that. So I don't know if I want to get a roof rack or something like that. I don't know if that's something that appeals to me at this time. Maybe I'll be convinced. I want to get some Molly panels inside of the car so I can get a shovel, maybe a fire extinguisher. I did get a Milwaukee M18 half-inch impact high torque. So if I ever do have an instance where I need a tire change, I have the tool to do it. I think I just have to get a 21 millimeter socket, and I have a torque wrench for 80 foot-pounds of torque. I think it takes about 83, but when you're in a pinch, I think 80 foot-pounds should be fine. I just have to get a good off-road jack for that. But yeah, I haven't sold this car because there's still so much more I want to do with the car. And it's plenty powerful, it's plenty comfortable, and I just love how smooth this car is. My 4Runner was a dog. It's got that dog in it when it's just like struggling to get up a mountain pass. I have to be at like 5,000 RPM, like the entire mountain pass. And I'm not even towing anything. The hell? This car, I think when I add more and more, that's something I'm avoiding too, like adding more and more weight to this car. I just don't want to kill the fuel economy more and more, right? So that's just something I just generally kind of want to avoid. I don't want to add too much to it, right? But all in all, this car has served me well, and it's been about a year and a half, and typically I sell a car around this point, but I'm having fun. I'm enjoying the car. It's making me happy, despite the fact that I have a large car payment and the fact that I have pitiful gas mileage. But the 4Runner was about the same gas mileage, and it had a 4 or 6 cylinder and not as much power and one less gear, and So this car is literally, I get the same gas mileage with this car, but for a much better driving experience. So I will take this car. The only thing is that the car payment on this car is definitely more than the 4Runner. Interest rates were a little bit better early 2022 when I got the car. So yeah, interest rates. Maybe with the new presidency and the new administration, things will be a little bit better. We'll see. We'll see how they turn out. But yeah, the car still looks great. I still am enjoying driving it. Still looks, I think it still turns heads a lot. Because honestly, there's not really many cars like the one that I have in Ohio. So definitely still turns heads, which I appreciate. It sticks out a little bit. I like the attention a little bit. And sometimes I drive like a douchebag, so maybe that does it too. I think whenever you have a lifted vehicle, you still drive like a douchebag. It's just natural. It just comes with it. So yeah, I mean, as you can see, I damaged the bumper there, a little bit of the tailpipe. And, you know, I've still got the 285 underneath there. So I just, I want to replace this with the Victory bumper, but mechanically everything, the car is working fine. I still have to get that kind of skid plate buffed out a little bit, but for the most part, yeah, car's doing great. You know, interior's holding up really well. Let's see, just a little bit dirty from just the general of just driving it, but for the most part, car is great. I thought about getting rid of the third row seats, but I like having the fact that I can take more than 4 people because I have the captain's chairs. So when I need it in a pinch, definitely comes in handy. But car still looks great, still is doing fine, still makes me happy to look at. It's one of those cars where I can park and turn around and makes me happy to look at it. And I know this car is not a Porsche 911, but it's still fun to drive. I think the KDSS suspension makes it very, very fun to drive, I think. Especially with how it handles corners and things like that. It does a pretty dang good job. It's not slow. And I say that to some degree because technically it's heavy and it may take above 6 seconds to get from 0 to 60. But I think the sound of the V8 and it's grumbling and rumbling, it makes it definitely feel like a little bit faster than what it may actually be. So I don't really feel like it's slow, to be honest. It still feels fast to me. It still feels like, I don't know, like a very competent car. And I don't know, I like that. It makes me feel satisfied to drive. And the engine is just so smooth. Cruising, like when you're coming home from the gym or just like getting groceries or something like that. Yeah, sometimes after a long day driving, you just want to get home, but it's a pleasure to get in this car. And sometimes you just don't want to get out. The seats are very comfortable. They're not like super plush like a cloth seat, but they're very firm and they're very comfortable. And I think when people get in my car, they still think, oh, hey, you know, it still feels like a brand new car. 4Runner was much the same. It held its own very well, even after a year and a half of abuse. And I think this car is doing great, just on its own. I am very happy with how it's turned out so far. And honestly, the new GX550s, apparently they don't really get that good of gas mileage either. I think people get under 300 miles to the tank. I still get about 297 or 290 miles to a tank, especially, but you know, since I'm driving the city, the computer is calculating just my city driving right now, so it's not giving me the best range. But once you get on the highway and put some good gas in it, maybe change your air filters, you know, I might get 16 or 17, which is fine, but it's just the same as a brand new GX550. So what are you really getting when you get the brand new cars? Yeah, you get some new interior tech, you get a fully digital gauge cluster, you get all this like, I don't know. I mean, it's a brand new car. There's something nice about a brand new car, but I just know my analog gauge cluster is going to work whenever that digital gauge cluster will get a computer error or something's going to happen to it, or maybe somebody modifies the car and now the gauge cluster doesn't know what to read. I don't know. There could be a lot of things that maybe I'm ignorant about that couldn't happen or could happen, but I'm just saying my car, ideal conditions, is going to last a lot longer, I think, than those new GX550s. I mean, just saying, you know, it's just like, feels like it. So that's another reason why I haven't sold the car to get the brand new ones, because, right, I still have a lot to work on and modify this car, and I'm enjoying it. And I know it's going to be a lot more reliable in the long term. I mean, every single Tundra that came out in what, like 2022 or something, then they have to get their engines replaced. I mean, at least Toyota's doing a good job about like recalling it, but that's still like just disrespectful and despicable for Toyota to stoop to such lows and be like that, right? You wouldn't expect it from a Toyota, of all things, right? So, you know, it kind of is what it is, but I'm just happy that, I got a great car. It's a great car. And also, I think the most important reason why I haven't gotten a new car quite yet is, man, it's expensive. Who the hell has the money to get a new car? Finance rates are crazy, above 8%, I think, and it's just it's almost criminal. Some of these, if you got the cash to go get a car, I would do it, because financing is like predatory and criminal. Just how much money they're making off these interest rates. It's kind of crazy, but I don't know. It's a world we live in today. The only thing that makes me want to sell this car from time to time is the fact that I can't really go as much off-roading here in Ohio or in the surrounding areas as I could out west if I lived there. So that's sometimes creeps in my mind, like, ah, man, I should just go get a Toyota Camry, get 50 miles per gallon and just be happy with it. But then I can't take that car off-roading. Yeah, it does have all-wheel drive. I'm not going to put Fox shocks on it and then lift it and take it off-road and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. It's I got to count my blessings before I count my complaints, I guess. I don't know. Complaining. But I'm an expert at complaining, so I guess it works. I don't know. But yeah, just driving the car around city, you know, I strict 12 miles per gallon. So, I don't know. I finally downloaded one of those like money tracking apps or whatever. Like on average, the amount I spend at Costco for gas, and Costco technically is cheaper than some other gas places, but it's about $68 to like $80 just to fill up 18 gallons of gas. So I was looking at like, what can I cut some other expenses off so I can buy some more car parts? Like, can I cancel Netflix and, you know, PlayStation or Amazon or something like that? You know, I want to get some more car parts, right? So where am I gonna cut the money, and how am I gonna live off of ramen noodles or whatever, right? So I don't know. You know, there's a Toyota 4Runner behind me, and I think the Toyota 4Runners definitely have that like dude personality, stereotypical 4Runner look with the hat turned backwards, the beard, the brewery type persona. And I don't know. I'm just being like a bully in my mind, but when I see like a slightly modified 4Runner with some aesthetics and things like that, I'm like, have you really ever seen dirt? You know, I'm not an expert off-roader, but I've been some remote places and I've taken some risks, and I've done my time. I've earned a few of my stripes, my pinstripes, so to say. So when I see somebody with the Toyota 4Runner with their hat turned backwards, and it just grinds my... No, I'm kidding. It doesn't. But it's just funny to see how stereotypes come into play, and how sometimes they're accurate. I don't know if there is a stereotype for the GX460 owners. I don't know, because like, it's not necessarily an off-road car from the factory, right? It's not intended, at least here in the United States. So I wonder if the GX460 community has like a thing that they do, you know, like a wave, or giving like rubber duckies or something cute like that. I don't know. I do like rubber duckies, but I just don't. I think if I see that on the dash of a Jeep, I I kind of lose respect for that individual. Like, I don't even know them personally, but I just know what kind of person they may be. Like, if I had a choice to save their life and I found out that they had rubber duckies, I would try to find a way to go back in time and rethink my position on saving that person's life. So I think the rubber duckies is a clear sign of the of heresy and blasphemy. I'm kidding. It's just, I mean, you know, like when you say to each their own, really, but sometimes it's just kind of like, come on, man. Really? And then you could say the same thing about putting Raptor lights on a Toyota, like I have it on my GX. It's like, come on, bro, you got a GX, like, what the hell are you gonna do? Like, you don't have a Raptor, like, so it's just kind of like, same thing. Rubber duckies, Raptor lights, it's the same thing. So maybe it's blasphemy for me to do this. Anyway, thanks for watching. Me rant about why I haven't sold my car yet. I like it, you know, right? I'm still, oh, here comes a Jeep with the rubber duckies. I'm kidding. But, you know, a lot of people get a Jeep and they never go off-road. So it's just, even with the, I don't know, maybe the off-roading and the rubber duckies go hand in hand. Maybe it's just something I never learned and never tried. I just hope it never happens to a Toyota owner. I think the worst thing that happens to Toyota off-roaders is they get the widow wadder, and they never use the widow wadder. So, yeah.